directionally challenged hiker here today at the Hunter Trailhead of Picacho Peak State Park. My plan is to ascend the Hunter Trail to the top of Picacho Peak. It is just under 2 miles, and then if all goes the way I'm planning, I will be descending the backside along the Sunset Trail. It is a happening place today. The poppies are just going crazy. We've had a very wet fall, winter, and yeah, they're in full bloom, along with some other wildflowers. So I am hoping to catch some video, also some still shots along the way. But I mean, so I will see you along the trail. Okay, just starting out here, giving you a little view of those wildflowers and a look at that peak. This front side is steep and challenging. Just a short ways up the trail here, and I am going to give you a 360 of just the view here, since I will be coming down the back side and not this same side. You should be able to see the yellow splotches on the hillside. The poppies, they are just wow. You can actually see them from the 10, I've been told. I don't know that I paid that much attention, and if I've also heard correctly, it may slow traffic up at times. They're pretty spectacular, and it has been the perfect season for it. But as I finish this turn, this was the first official hike my husband and I did here in Arizona. And as we get closer to that peak, I'm hoping to catch some footage of the area that had me sort of scared, wondering if I was going to be able to get myself back down it. So see ya along the trail. Something you will see along this trail are some cables to assist you with either your ascent or descent. Right here they just make kind of a nice railing, but we will be coming to some areas where they are quite useful and, if I might say, necessary. Another thing you should have in your little pack, should have a pair of gloves. I prefer those like gloves with the rubber palms. They stick to the cables pretty good. A little over a half mile in at this point, and I'm kind of tucked back alongside Picacho Peak. Just going to do a little bit of a turnaround here. I'll be dropping back down a little bit and then climbing some more. But this is just kind of a cool area to take a rest. That rock sort of looks like a thumb, and just kind of cool. And you can see those swirls up there on the edge, and then I'm gonna have you look back down and you can just see the abundance of poppies. Just came up that little section of trail. Again, poppies on the right, and then as I turn back left, again we are tucked in along the peak kind of wall here. And if you can see those hikers in the distance there, they are just coming off the saddle area. That is where I am headed. I will see you up there for our first set of serious cables. All right, I have reached that saddle. Looking back from where I just came, I'm going to do a 360 here. Looking down where I climbed up from. Another view of those poppies. You probably see them at the end of my hike today because I have to come back and pick up my little car Gus Gus. But all right, we are turning around here, and there's a nice little bench at the saddle where you can take a break if you would like. I set my pack on it so I could dig my gloves out, and then let's view that direction. I'm gonna just try to carefully go. We are coming up to that set of cables I mentioned where I am going to need to put my gloves on so I don't slide too much or tear up your hands. Like I said, the first time I came here and went up to the peak, I was losing it. All right, the cable goes down as I have to descend along the side there a ways, and then hang a left at one point to get on the other side of the mountain. So I will be putting my gloves on, may try to get some footage along the way there. This may give you a little bit more perspective. Just came down that stretch here, and as I turn around, I'm getting ready to do some more sort of steps. Just waiting for some hikers to clear out. Just, you know, don't want to annoy anybody. So let me see if I can catch around the corner here without tripping myself. But yeah, I might have to go a little farther. So let's see. All right, there we go. I just had to take a step down, but I didn't want to do it. Just didn't want to do it without holding on. Let's see if I can catch him. He just went out of view. But yeah, I'm having trouble working the camera with the gloves on. Okay, so I just finished up this stretch of cable here. Looking back up at that saddle and going to do a 360 here and give you some more of the view from this side of Picacho Peak. It is a standalone peak and has been used as a landmark since it is very distinctive. So, all right, we are getting ready to head this direction, and I think you might be able to see some more cables ahead. Just a bit of cable here taking us up around the left side of that boulder. Just up ahead is where the Sunset Trail dead ends into the Hunter Trail, so that you can head up to the peak from that direction. And that is the way I will be going back down. So you'll see some more of that in a little while. All right, we have come to another cable. I'm just gonna have to go around this tree here so you can see a bit more of it. Yeah, tucks around that boulder. So we are climbing. And we have come to some more cable. This one actually has some fencing alongside of it. It kind of goes that way and gets me up another level. See you up there. Just part way up here, trying to give you a little bit of perspective. Hoping no one's coming and I'm annoying them. But that is where I just came up from. Not too high, but it is challenging. Just a look down. This is quite an extensive little cable route right here, and it ends here. So yeah, didn't quite capture all of it, but I am working my way up that way. I have to climb around here. Got a little ways without any cables, but it doesn't mean it's not slippery. Now to the cable area that had me scared out of my mind the first time I ascended Picacho Peak. And it's so scary that I had to use the sun to blur out part of my ascent and then descent back down this section here. I do apologize for that. I spent quite a bit of time yesterday trying to figure out how to adjust it out, and I had no success. And then when I did come back down from the peak, the sun wasn't in any better position and the trail was a little bit more crowded. I did not have the luxury of trying to set the camera up and
video myself climbing up and down. In just a minute or so, there will be a clip as I'm ascending the sunset area that has a side-by-side cable a little bit similar to this if you just kind of want some perspective.
Another short stretch of cable here, just beyond the one that I used to fear. So we're going to have an extension of that cable down there, just up here, not too far. And then, if I'm remembering right, that little bridge looking thing with cable, I think that is the last cable before we reach the peak. So I will see you at that next one. So we are up on that next stretch of cable, which I'm thinking is the last. Guess I will find out. At the top of Picacho Peak here, looking across where you can go on a short trail to another like kind of smaller peak. Not doing that today as I will be going down the back at this point still. But I'm gonna do a little bit of a turn here, looking back down at all those poppies. Absolutely spectacular. And yeah, there is the 10. Lots of agriculture around this area. You can see some snow in the distance on those peaks. I'm thinking it is Mount Lemon, but I am not too sure at this point. Just kind of finishing my turnaround. Again, trying not to annoy my fellow hikers here. So, yeah, it's beautiful today. There is a breeze on the top, but I'm not freezing. More often than not, I get up here and I am absolutely cold. And if I have my directions right, I think we are looking towards tabletop right now. So, snack time, and then it is time to descend. Back to that sunset trail that kind of dead ends into the Hunter Trail. I will be heading back down. And this is my route. So, see you along the way. All right. Hitting some cable here on the Sunset Trail. See ya at the next one. Okay, here's the fun one, and this is probably it for a cable on the Sunset Trail. So again, just kind of looking out. You can see just the yellow poppies. Pretty amazing. All right, taking a look up that sort of cable railings. I just came down. Getting down up to that blue sky and those little kind of wispy clouds up there. So, see you along the trail. Along the Sunset Trail, I've mostly been trying to catch pictures of all the wildflowers that are blooming right now. It's beautiful. A little bit more peaceful on this trail, although there are several hikers. It's just a spectacular day. Seems like a lot of people had the same idea. I'm gonna just do 360 here, kind of see where I'm at on the backside of Picacho Peak. Yeah, it's gorgeous in those wispy clouds forming up there. Enjoying myself today. Okay, made it to the Sunset Trailhead. Now to walk back to the Hunter Trailhead and get my car. And hopefully, maybe I can recover that footage that I seem to have lost along the way. But again, it is beautiful. So, later. Just about back to where I started this morning. I'm tired. It was beautiful. I have no idea, but I really do think I lost a bunch of footage. Guess I will find out when I put one of the chips into the computer. But anyway, I am almost back to Gus Gus, and Garmin here is telling me about 8.39 miles. I'm thinking it's closer to about 7.5 miles. But yeah, I am ready to call it a day. I may take a few more pictures when I get back to the car. I have taken a fair amount of pictures today, mostly of the wildflowers. That is part of why I came, and then to just get a hike in. So until next time, directionally challenged hiker here.
As the slideshow of photos begins, and I sit here editing this video, let me just tell you that editing this video has been as challenging as hiking Picacho Peak on Tuesday. After reaching the peak and taking that video clip of my view from the top, I checked my GoPro, and it was showing that all that morning's footage and then some was gone, deleted. Not exactly sure how. Was it my error? Was it a bad SD card? It doesn't really matter. Most of yesterday was spent downloading an app to retrieve deleted files and working with that app to actually retrieve those files. And obviously, it worked, as I am working on this video today. Back to the hike. As I stated earlier, I initially went up the Hunter Trail. That is the more beastly trail, not quite as scenic. When you descend the Sunset Vista Trail, the first bit, you have some cables, as I've shown, and then after that, it mellows out. The views are a little different, and it is, let's just say, more enjoyable if you want to take in the views, take photographs. I mean, on this section of my hike, I was focusing on trying to capture those wildflowers. Hopefully, I have done it justice and you are enjoying some of the photos that I have here. Sadly, I do not know the names of most of those wildflowers. So if you do, please leave that in the comments below. I wouldn't mind being educated on some of that. But anyway, it was a absolutely beautiful day. I nailed it there because we had a front come in Wednesday night, storms. So yeah, but it ended up being about a 7.5 mile day, 2 miles of Hunter, 3 miles of Sunset Vista Trail, and then I had the walk from the one trailhead parking to the other trailhead parking. And I was a bit grumpy about this at first. You know, you get done with the hike and then you have to actually walk to your car. But there is a really nice trail alongside the road, and it allowed me to capture some photos like this one and the next one. Views that I would not have seen otherwise. And that should be the Picacho Mountains there, along with those spectacular poppies. So, I mean, it was a long day, but it was a beautiful day. I think I finished up just after 3 p.m. So, until next time, directionally challenged hiker here.